Welcome to the deep dive. Today we are jumping into a really powerful address from Pastor Darren at the House Church in Mountain Grove, Missouri.
Yeah, and our whole mission here is to uh, kind of pull apart the mechanics of applying this radical, unconditional love.
Especially when you're faced with just the angriest people, the people who hurt you.
Exactly. The core idea we're grabbing is that this kind of supernatural love requires you to look past the emotion you see on the surface.
Past the anger, the hurt, all of it.
Right, to see the actual person underneath.
Yeah.
And that's how you get from just, tolerating someone to actually transforming the situation.
And the whole thing launched in such an interesting way. He started by, of all things, talking about his socks.
Socks from the Chosen series.
Yes. And he immediately pivots from that lighthearted detail into this deep truth that everyone listening is chosen, that you have profound value. It just sets the whole stage.
It really does. And it leads him right into the anchor scripture for the whole talk, which is Ephesians 3:19.
Which talks about knowing the love of Christ that surpasses knowledge.
And that distinction is just so critical. This isn't about knowing that you're loved, like it's a fact in a book.
So if it surpasses knowledge, it has to be something else entirely.
It has to be something that fills you. I mean, the idea is you become so saturated with the fullness of God that this love it overflows. It starts to radiate out of you toward other people.
You can't give away what you don't have.
You really can't. And this idea of overflowing is so important because he immediately showed how hard it is to apply.
With that staging, right? The people on stage who were the faces, mad, confused, hurt.
Yes, and they were standing in front of an innocent child who represented the person's true identity. We see those masks every single day.
And that's where his own story became so powerful. He was completely honest about it.
So honest. He talked about his own severe anger, how he was mistreating his wife, Peggy, and how it was all rooted in undiagnosed diabetes.
Something totally hidden. He said he was being an absolute bonehead, but the cause wasn't malice, it was medical.
Which just forces you to stop and think. I mean, how many times have you been in line at Walmart or on the road and someone just unloads on you?
And your first instinct is to take it personally.
Of course. Without that deep divine love, you react to the face value of what you see. And that is what destroys relationships. He said his marriage could have ended.
So the goal is to train yourself to look past the behavior, to see the trauma or the medical issue or whatever is driving that anger.
That's the moment of choice.
Okay, so if we need this divine fullness to even have the capacity for love, how do we actually, do it? How do we apply it?
Well, that's where he took us next, to 1 Corinthians 13. Faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love.
The love chapter.
The love chapter. And the practical part, the really tough part, is in verses 4-8. Love is patient, kind, not rude.
It keeps no record of being wronged.
That's the one. That is so counterintuitive to how we're wired.
So if it's basically impossible for us to do on our own, how do we even start?
By understanding, it takes supernatural strength. He told the story of this guy, Paul, a former alcoholic who became a police officer.
Okay.
And his big prayer request wasn't for, physical safety on the job. It was for the emotional strength to keep a tender heart and not become bitter after seeing the worst of humanity day in and day out.
Wow. So it all comes down to this choice then. Hurt is going to happen, and it makes us either better or bitter.
Exactly. And you need a love that surpasses your own knowledge, to choose better, to let go of those offenses. God's love gives you the ability to see the person who hurt you as someone he loves.
Which releases you from having to carry that record of wrong.
It does. And since this love is, by definition, too great to fully understand, here's a final thought for you. Is there one person, one name, or one face that comes to your mind right now? Someone you feel that bitterness toward?
I think we all have one.
So what would it look like just this week to take one small step toward practicing keeping no record of being wronged with them, to yield to a strength that isn't your own?